Hey, what's up guys, Sly Elliott here, and today we're going to be checking out Soulframe, which seems like it's a Warframe sequel, prequel, something like that from Digital Extremes. I'm a big Warframe fan, so I'm very excited. Let's just jump right into it.
They that held came hollow, fallen. Their children raised in castles loft,
Right away.
made hunters grave, of others not.
We are a family.
Remember still and tell the ghosts.
Yo, that's pretty cool. Do we get a moose friend? I hope that's what you get to ride for the whole game. Give me some Death Stranding vibes. Got some ass. Got a lot of ass in this trailer.
So listen well. Envoys of shame. And bear their souls within your frame. Find your spirit, your grace renewed.
Wow. Soulframe. Looks like a really interesting game. I love Digital Extremes. Warframe is an amazing, fantastic MMO. I've sunk hundreds and hundreds of hours into it. I'm a huge fan. I heavily respect Digital Extremes for everything they went through to make Warframe and get that game made. If you're not familiar with their story, it's really inspiring and you should really go read it. Frankly, I was really excited when I heard that Digital Extremes was making a new game. And if you are an avid player of Warframe, and first question you might have when you see Soulframe, how are they making a new game when Warframe is barely finished? I think it's technically still in beta. Now, Soulframe really seems like it exists in the same universe as Warframe, not just due to its name sharing similarities, but the design of the world and the characters and the wardrobe. Even a character like this one really seems like it resembles a type of Warframe found in the future. I think we might be seeing the precursors of the Tenno, maybe even Oregon or something. I don't know. It does seem like it's hearkening to Warframe in a lot of ways.
And bear their souls within your frame.
A line like that really seems like the frame is once again an important part of the player character. The frame could be the arm in this case, and the arm being all robotic and messed up or different is also hearkening to Dark Sector, which was kind of the main focal point of the gameplay, and the virus that was infecting Hayden Tenno in Dark Sector. It seems like we're getting something reminiscent of that here. Now, this is a way more substantial announcement trailer than I expected. There's a ton of obvious in-engine footage, and I'd even go as far as to say a lot of what we're seeing are cutscenes from the game, probably opening cinematics. This shot right here really seems like this is going to be what we see right before we take control of the character that we're playing as. As you can see, the camera kind of pulls back here over the shoulder, and you can just imagine being able to take over the character then running forward down this beach. It's probably the first moments of the game that we're going to play. And I'm not even a betting man, but I'd bet you money. Now, the thing that's really interesting about the trailer is what seems like it's going to be the combat. The player character grabs this Excalibur-esque sword from the ground with his messed up type arm, which seems like that might have been what the metal stuff was encasing. It was encasing his arm. That seems to be infused with some sort of nature, spirit, type of magic, and it also is allowing him to wield this sword and the power of nature in some way, shape, or form. What I think is really interesting here is that he doesn't necessarily kill any of these characters. He ends up using this ability and he turns them to stone. The interesting thing will be, I think, if the way combat works is you don't actually full kill enemies, you kind of turn them to this stone material and they kind of sit there, or something happens with that. Now this could just be one ability in the game or just one weapon type in the game that produces that effect. A game like this with a fantasy setting, an MMO, hack and slash whatever, is really going to need an interesting gameplay hook in order to make people either leave the current MMOs that they're investing tons of time into or to start playing an MMO. I don't think necessarily that gamers are starved for medieval fantasy MMORPGs. I think it's a very saturated genre. I think what made Warframe so good and interesting and popular was that it was a little different in a lot of ways, and the core gameplay loop was just so satisfying. It was so fun, and that's really what they need to nail with a game like this, especially with the setting being as samey as a lot of stuff we've seen come out lately. I think Elden Ring was really successful not because of the fantasy medieval setting, but because From Software is an amazing developer and people were starved for that kind of genre of content at that particular time. Nature really seems to play a major part in, the animals that you're seeing. They seem to be guides. They seem to be even companions. They even seem to be characters you might be able to control either directly or indirectly. You have this great wolf Sif character where it seems like the character and the wolf have a connection. The narrator earlier says something about finding your spirit envoy or whatever. It seems like this wolf is that. You could imagine that this wolf is going to be a companion of yours that maybe you'll be able to call upon to help you in combat, or even cooler, you could switch to during combat or exploration or whatever in order to do certain unique moves and abilities throughout the game. And if this is the case, that really could be the interesting gameplay hook that sets this game apart from many other fantasy medieval MMOs. The ability to change to a animal type that you pick, all these different animal types that you can pick from, and you can swap between your player character and the animal at any given time to do a bunch of cool tag teaming abilities and things and combos and all this other stuff. That could be super cool. Imagine in your favorite MMO that you get to control your favorite mount or pet or companion. That would be pretty sick. And we already know Warframe has companion and pet mechanics, so it isn't a huge stretch that Digital Extremes would have fleshed those elements out, and they could do something like that. The thing that makes me think that is that it's mentioned, like I said, in the narration, but also at the tail end of the trailer, we have this scene where we see this spiritual area that they're in, and you see that both the player character and the wolf that he freed behind him, they have the same facial markings. They even seem like they might have a similar eye color, positioning of them one right behind the other, staring straight ahead. It really seems like it's trying to convey that these two characters are actually one and the same, that these two characters are connected, and I think it could even be safe to say that this is going to be the central focal point of the MMO, of the gameplay, is you and these animals found in nature, found in the environment. You have a connection to them, and they play a major role in gameplay. Frankly, if that's the case, I'm definitely going to try Soulframe. I think it's interesting. I think they could do a different spin on it that makes it interesting, that gives it some cool, unique pizzazz, that makes you want to get off World of Warcraft or get off RuneScape or Elder Scrolls Online and really dive into a totally new experience with what I'll say honestly seems like a really interesting world, seems like a really interesting aesthetic that I'm a fan of, especially if it's tied in with Warframe. I think it'd be really interesting to see these precursors to a lot of the things we see in Warframe. I don't know for sure if Soulframe is going to flop or be successful, but if I really had to put my money on it, I would say that audiences right now are not super interested or hungry for a medieval high fantasy style MMO. If Digital Extremes doesn't do something super groundbreaking with the overall gameplay and the world like they did in Warframe, I'm just not sure how many people are going to be pulled away from the current MMOs they've invested hundreds and hundreds of hours into, or if it's going to attract new people to the MMO genre that previously haven't played it much. I will say I was kind of surprised that Digital Extremes chose to make another MMO as opposed to a single player or just a smaller co-op style game when they just made an MMO and it was very successful. It's pretty overconfident of them to try to get lightning in a bottle twice. I don't want to sit here and hypothesize much further just based on a in-engine cutscene trailer, because frankly we still haven't really seen gameplay that we know of, and a lot can change between now and the release of the game. That being said, I don't doubt Digital Extremes' ability to deliver on a really good game with satisfying core gameplay loops, although I will say that Warframe took them many years to perfect and really nail down that core gameplay loop to have it be very fun, engaging, and addicting. Hopefully they're going to be able to use that blueprint to expedite the process of making Soulframe super satisfying and sticky right from the beginning. But let me know what you guys think of Soulframe. Are you excited for it? Do you think it looks interesting or boring? Do you think that I'm off base at all with what I'm saying? Is this a hot take? Is this a cold take that people are not super starved and interested in a medieval style high fantasy MMO? Let me know all your thoughts down below. Why not? If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you want to see more videos like this one, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. I'm getting very close to 1,000 subscribers and it would mean the world to me if I could hit that milestone. Also, please share with your friends if you thought it was interesting at all and if they haven't heard about this announcement yet and they're Warframe fans. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.